Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a stack of critical sources and cut straight to the knowledge you need, without the noise. Today we're focused on the Green Bay Packers. Specifically, that knee injury that running back Josh Jacobs sustained against the New York Giants on Sunday.
Yeah, and this is a critical one because that post-game period is just a storm of speculation. Our mission for you is to pull out the hard facts, the concrete information on just how severe this injury really is.
And because being well-informed is all about speed, let's just hit you with the key nugget first. The one piece of information that really changes the whole story. Josh Jacobs will not need surgery.
Right, and that is everything. That news came from a person familiar with the situation, speaking anonymously to the AP, and it's game changer.
A massive competitive advantage for the Packers, and honestly, just a huge sigh of relief for anyone watching.
Oh, absolutely. It's the difference between, a season-ending rehab and a recovery that's measured in weeks, not months. The moment that no structural damage finding came out, the whole conversation just shifted.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little. How did it happen? The injury was early. First quarter, East Rutherford. He was on a carry, got knocked out of bounds, and you could see he hurt his left knee on the play.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is his reaction. I mean, Jacobs is a tough runner. He actually tried to stay in the game right after the hit.
Yeah, but you could see him favoring it.
You could. He eventually went to the sideline in what the sources called obvious pain and then, eventually made the walk to the locker room.
And he still made a mark before he left. 7 carries, 40 yards. And despite losing him, the Packers still pull out the win, 27-20, which is, I think, important context. The offense found a way to work, at least for one game.
They did. But let's go back to the medical side for a second. The NFL Network was actually first to report that no structural damage finding.
Okay.
And then the AP source confirmed it. For anyone who follows the sport, you know what this means. The worst case scenarios, an ACL, an Achilles, things that require immediate surgery, they're just off the table.
So if it's not structural, what is the focus now? What does that mean for when he might come back?
It means it all shifts to soft tissue. They were talking about bruising, bone contusions, inflammation. The goal isn't repairing something. It's just managing pain. And that raises a really important question, right?
Yeah.
The team might want him back in a week or two, but how quickly can his body tolerate the kind of cutting and impact an elite running back needs to make?
That's the real tension here, isn't it? The long term is good news, but the short term is a crisis for the depth chart. I mean, who picks up the slack for a guy who was second in the entire league in touchdowns?
Exactly. When your workhorse goes down, the whole system gets strained. So running back Emmanuel Wilson, he got a much heavier workload than he's used to.
He did pretty well, all things considered. 40 yards and a touchdown.
He did. But we need to look at the usage here.
Right. Those 11 carries he got that matched his season high.
That's an emergency button. That's not a sustainable plan. It's not just about the yardage he puts up. It's about whether he can be that guy when defenses are planning for him all week.
So it's more than just the stats.
It's way more. Wilson's performance was enough to, hold the line for one game. But Jacobs is an identity for that offense. He's a power runner. He draws defenders into the box. He's a threat from the 5-yard line every single time.
That's the difference. So does Wilson have that same power, or does the offensive coordinator have to change the entire scheme? More outside runs, maybe, more screens?
It feels like Wilson is more of a change of pace back. So, yeah, I think they have to adjust. They'll probably go with the committee approach, lean more on the short passing game to make up for those guaranteed short yardage plays Jacobs always gets you. The yardage might be there, but can they be as efficient?
That's the real question. And to get a sense of the gap they have to fill, we really need to understand just how good Josh Jacobs was before this injury. This is where the story gets really, really interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jacobs is 27, and he was having arguably an even bigger impact than his total yardage might suggest. As of the report, he has 665 yards on 163 carries. It's solid, very solid.
But the number that just jumps off the page is the touchdowns.
11.
11 rushing touchdowns. To put that in perspective for you, that ranked him second in the entire league.
He was trailing only Jonathan Taylor, who had 12. And that's not just a stat. That is a fundamental part of the Packers' identity. It's how they finish drives.
That red zone production is priceless.
It's the hardest thing to replace. It forces a defensive coordinator to game plan specifically for him inside the 20, which, opens up everything else. You lose that threat, And defenses can play you differently. It puts more pressure on the quarterback, on the receivers.
And this isn't his first time at this level, right? This isn't a fluke season.
Not at all. This is his second year in Green Bay.
Yeah.
In his first, he ran for 3,380 yards and 15 touchdowns. That got him his third Pro Bowl selection.
Wow.
And if you go back even further to his 5 seasons with the Raiders, I mean, he was an All-Pro in 2022. He led the entire NFL in rushing that year with 1,653 yards.
So this injury doesn't just take out a good back. It sidelines a player who has proven he can carry an entire offense.
For a whole season, yeah.
So we have this good news on the medical side. No long-term catastrophe, but it's smashed right up against the reality of losing, one of the league's best scorers. How do those two things balance out for the Packers' playoff hopes?
Well, if we connect it all to the bigger picture, it means the Packers avoided falling off a cliff. But now they have a really steep climb for the next few weeks. The lack of structural damage means it's all on the medical staff now. It's about how fast they can get that soft tissue to recover without risking re-injury when he does come back.
So the knowledge you should really take from this deep dive is that, yeah, the relief is real, but it doesn't solve the immediate problem. They have to figure out how to win without their most reliable weapon.
And that brings us to the final thought we want to leave you with. Given Jacobs' history as a workhorse, his scoring productivity.
Yeah.
Let's ask this. What if the timeline is longer than they hope, say 3 or 4 weeks? And what if Emmanuel Wilson's production isn't sustainable against better teams?
Right.
How quickly does a temporary absence become a permanent momentum killer for a team with real aspirations? Especially when you lose a player whose impact isn't just measured in yards, but in guaranteed points.
A fascinating test for their whole offensive philosophy going forward. We appreciate you diving deep with us today. We'll catch you next time.